Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of How to Watch a Movie as a Christian. I'm Riley.
I'm PJ.
And I'm Ben.
Okay guys, we have to talk about how we watched Rings of Power. Season 1 is over, episode 8 dropped when? Last Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we caught up on it. You watched it.
did.
You watched it.
We had a watch party, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. I invited you. So did I.
That's right. That's right. Oh, here at the church.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's some Christmas videos being shot here, so that's why we have to set up right here. Now, Rings of Power, we already did an episode on it. It was our first episode. We talked about how we were watching it, and the question we asked was, whose story is being told? And by that, what we meant was, like, what is being said about the world? And that was great. But we didn't get into what we actually thought of Rings of Power. And now that season 1 is over, we need to know, how are we watching Rings of Power season 1? So let's do this. Let's kind of give it, what did you give it on Letterboxd?
I'd probably give it it's a solid, I could go up or down from here, 3.5.
Okay.
I liked it. I mean, I'm anticipating, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it.
PJ, how about you?
I would say episodes 1 through 7, some better than others, but I would rate that arc especially a soft 4. It really,
Out of 5.
yeah,
Okay.
it really hit a lot of points that I just loved. It was beautiful, well acted,
Yep.
such good action. The
Okay.
score was amazing. It's like,
That's the best part.
when you
in my
really
opinion.
look at it,
Truly.
there aren't a lot of cons. Episode 8, I would give it like a 2.
Gotcha.
Like, I was pretty disappointed.
All right. Well, then I think that reflects my opinion too. Yeah, I feel like I was rooting for it. It's almost like a sports team that can't pull out wins, but they're playing hard. And I was rooting for them every time.
Can we say real quick? Because I think to really talk about it, we have to give a spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
my
bro.
dude.
These two are a little buddy, and I'm left out for a very specific reason.
Why?
I liked it.
You loved it.
No. I liked it.
But why did you like it?
Yeah, the reason I liked
But
it,
we're talking about the finale.
and the reason why they didn't, I think is a stupid reason. I liked it because I said he was going to be Sauron, and then he was.
Him
Okay,
being
so-
Halbrand.
Halbrand.
Well, this is what we're getting at. The episodes 1 through 7, they're leading up to this mystery about who is Sauron. Evil's on the rise, but nobody knows who or where he is. And in episode 8, the finale, they reveal that Halbrand indeed is Sauron, and he is involved in some way in the forging of the 3 rings of power, which are then given to the elves. Mm-hmm. Now, you're saying you liked it because you called it. Is that what you're
So
saying?
yeah, my first reaction was, "Oh, sweet!" I like that. I saw little hints. Read some stuff on it. Fun, but then almost immediately, I was like, "Well, that was stupid. Why is that a reason to like it? This isn't. It's not a twist. This isn't."
You got into like thinking of it as, why is this a twist? Why was it a mystery? Why did they take it that direction as a show overall?
And they really played into that right when it started. Those creepy ladies looked at
The
Gandalf
White witches or whatever.
and they're like,
Who the heck
Lord
are they?
Sauron. And then, all of us were like, oh, shoot. And it's, I don't know, it's this like, that's not how you watch Lord of the Rings.
I know. Okay, let's get to that. Let's talk about why or why not to put a twist in it. But I think for me, the reason why I didn't like it is because I think I would have called it, but I refused to believe it.
I'm in that same boat because it felt so obvious that I was
So
him.
obvious.
That I thought, no way they think that I'm this dumb. Right?
Right.
To not guess that it's him. From the first few episodes when he's like a blacksmith and he's like cunning, it's like, that's no way this is Sauron. And then they just keep playing on that. And then it gets to episode 8 and you're like, it's not going to be him. It can't be. That's just like way too obvious.
And to me and the rest of the viewers, we were that dumb. And that's how
Well,
it
no,
went.
you were calling something that they were goading you into
Exactly.
doing. And I
It
guess
did
for
seem,
me,
when you guys were like, there's no way, I was like, oh, it seems like it. Like, you know.
Right, totally.
And it was true.
I think that the problem I have with it is, number one, that's just not Sauron. It ain't. In the lore, Anatar, the Lord of Gifts, he comes to Celebrimbor sneakily. He's a deceiver. He is sowing discord and division and his own ideas. And yes, he's warping people's minds and he's deceiving all of them. But Halbrand showed up there because he was wounded, which obviously, okay, he maybe planned it, I don't know. But he was there by happenstance or by circumstance. In my mind, they were going to show up at Eregion, and lo and behold, here's Celebrimbor, who's been building these these elven cities and has this desire to make a forge, and by spring we're going to do these things. And what I thought is that we were going to show up at the city, and he was going to go, let me introduce you to my friend, Anatar. Boom, close credits. And all of us lore nerds would be like, there he is! We're going to talk about him all season 2. Like season 2 would be
You he wasn't Sauron.
Yeah, exactly. And then all season 2 it would be watching Anatar just destroy things through whisper.
Yeah. The last episode should have been a season. Because right when the episode started, Halbrand was all, evil, and you're like, oh, your vibe totally changed.
Yeah.
Now you're this dark, mysterious person. You're not this good guy, valiant guy. I guess that he would have been before. Yeah, to have him immediately be this dark, mysterious character who's creeping around in the shadows, deceiving people, being all weird. That should have been the mistrust between him and Celebrimbor should have been a long time.
We didn't get to watch Halbrand deceive Celebrimbor. Not once.
Here's how it felt to me. It felt like
I'm angry about this.
they did all of season 1 up to episode 7, and then the Amazon execs go, actually, let's reveal Sauron this episode, and the writer's like, oh, what?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I guess we have to reveal Sauron at the end of this
Not
episode.
to mention the Rings of Power, revealing the Rings of Power.
Exactly. It's so much goes on. The pacing is so out of whack in episode 8. I can't even fathom. Not to mention there's a 20-minute scene of Nori saying bye to all the Harfoots.
I hated that.
For no reason.
That was bad.
Oh
It's
my
like-
gosh.
Just get to
And
what
then
we
it
actually
ended.
want to see.
And then there's another one.
And also, why is Galadriel just
Hey, good.
finally...
Whoa. Hey, oh. Good job.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Why is
Do it
she
one more time.
Just
one more time.
Why is Galadriel...
Wow. Crazy. You guys are cool.
Why is she just now...
Who? Wait, sorry, who?
Galadriel.
Nice.
Why is she just now inquiring about Halbrand? Why now? I think what would have been more compelling is she inquires about him at the beginning of the season and then finds out
Yeah.
at the end, like the messenger says, this is
100%.
what we found.
100%.
And then it's like, whoa, but no, that happened in a span of 10, 15 minutes?
And not only that, here's an added thing to that. She goes to Halbrand and goes, can you explain this? There's no king in the Southlands. What does he say? He could have been like, look, I know that your records are incomplete, but we saw war for 1,000 years.
Yes.
I know my name's not on there. Our family trees are in a total disarray.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
the lie could keep going. It's not that crazy.
Even the scene where he daydreams her to where they're on the raft and he talks about how
we need to talk about that too.
she was accepting of the fact that he had done evil in his past. I wish they would have used that, but to make it so where she did accept him, but not on some weird raft thing, but in real life. I wanted him to deceive her. And
I
us
want to
know
see-
it, but not her.
I wanted to see Sauron the Deceiver deceiving. The only thing we got was Celebrimbor going oh, how are we gonna do this with metal and stuff? Yeah, we could, we could take over the world or something. Over Earth, over Flesh. And she
over
goes,
Flesh.
where'd you hear that? Who said that? Have you been hanging out? Wait, have you been hanging out with Halbrand? It's like, whatever you're referring to, show that scene.
Yeah.
Show that.
Yeah.
That's people being deceived. We need to see that. I'm upset about this. And I'm not sure what their motivations are. And by the way, when Galadriel finds out...
Say it right.
Galadriel. When she finds out that he's Sauron, she then goes back into the council and they're like, hey, what's wrong? Elrond's like, what's wrong? And she's like, don't ask.
She's like, he left, and I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think he's coming back, and please don't ask again
It's like,
about
I think
it.
that's big news. You should.
I think you should
Is she
say,
just like-
it's Sauron, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go get him.
Is
Yeah.
she just like ashamed that she's...
Well, he was like, what would they think if they knew you were helping me?
Yeah,
But-
she doesn't care. Her character would not care.
Exactly.
She jumped off a boat. She doesn't care
Yeah.
what
Nope.
they think about
It's
her.
in direct
I've already
opposition to
established
how they've
this.
written her. Totally. And here's another thing.
Wait, before you say, can I plead my case one last, just to set the, just please.
Yeah, because mine is in regards
Okay.
to a different arc.
I liked it for the reason I said that I don't like it, which is that I guessed, I mean, we all guessed it, but I happened to stick with one theory and it was correct. That's a stupid reason to like it. And getting past that feeling, I didn't like it that much.
Once you got past the mystery and like, oh, we know now, it lost value to you.
I can't say I didn't like it. It was a little cheap. Some cool stuff happened, and then it was kind of just stupid.
And where did he get that black cloak?
At the end.
Okay, here's my
Yeah.
other thing.
One does not simply walk into Mordor, except Halbrand.
Except Halbrand, fully cloaked.
Whoa.
So imagine this now, okay?
Okay.
Let's say all of this doesn't happen. They are actually deceived, and that goes on for season 2.
Okay.
And we find out he's Sauron at
Yeah.
the end of season 2. It's so fulfilling.
That would have been better.
Because we know he's Sauron, but they don't, and we watch them
Right.
figure it out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so while that's
or
happening...
not even figure it out.
Or not even figure it out.
Just get deceived.
Yeah. Maybe Galadriel sees him at the Black Cloak store and
Yes.
goes, oh!
The black
Okay,
cloak.
Now listen to this idea,
Okay.
which I think would have been so cool too,
Listening.
is the Stranger's arc now, okay?
Okay.
So at the beginning of episode 8, the 3 witches, I guess, I don't know
They
who
call
they
them
are.
the Mystics.
Okay. The 3 mystics, creepy, say, "Hail, Lord Sauron." Because at that point, I was like, oh, yeah. I knew it was going to be something crazy. Obviously, it wasn't. But imagine, for season 2, they train
yeah.
him up with him and everyone thinking that he is Sauron.
Yeah.
And there's just like this internal conflict because he's being told one thing, but he feels another. He's being led by the mystics, but he's also seeing Nori and the good of the Harfoots.
And he's like literally caught between light and dark.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
the last episode
And
being stretched out.
He's
where
just like so
the turmoil.
conflicted. And then it's like, whoa, is
Yeah.
Nori friends with Sauron? That's bonkers. That's compelling. That's cool. But then
Yeah.
it's like within 20 minutes, they're basically saying, oh no, it's Gandalf, run. And then they're gone.
Yeah, and by the
My
way,
good.
what you're doing there is,
And then he says,
am I good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
And turns their faces into moths.
Which was ridiculous. What was that?
Can I ask you a question? What was that?
I don't know. Nobody knows. They've been nicknamed the Nazgals
No.
because
Well,
it's
yeah.
so ridiculous.
And they obviously...
clearly they're Nazgul in the sense that they exist in the unseen realm.
Because
But
when they
nobody
get to
knows
their
what they
skeleton
actually are.
form, it did look like the Nazgul.
Yeah,
when
but-
Frodo sees them
Yeah.
with the ring on.
Oh boy.
It's just okay in a storytelling. I think it's this. The principle is show, don't tell. And right now they said, okay, here's the wizard. He's caught between Nori and the good, or these mystics and the evil. So, wow, he's caught between them. Well, show, don't tell says, let's walk that out. Let's see that happen. And they could have spent season 2 showing him being trained in the dark.
Because then how much more fulfilling is it that he chooses good after all of this training up to be evil? And then we see Halbrand doing good, knowing that he's ultimately evil.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been better. I don't know. I
Hire
think,
us, Amazon.
I think let's talk about the
Just
question
kidding,
you
please don't.
raised, which is
Yeah, what question?
why did they make the identity of Sauron a mystery?
Yeah.
I think that's the fundamental error. Lord of the Rings, the trilogy begins like this. In the land of Mordor, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring. There's no mystery to it. And yet they somehow made him a menacing enemy. More than this. So in my opinion, Lord of the Rings just it doesn't lend it. This story doesn't lend itself to mystery. What's the identity of Sauron? I think that was a
Yeah.
mistake.
Lord of the Rings, who done it?
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Does this disappointing ending tarnish the rest of the season for you?
Absolutely.
Me too. So what would have been a 4, given that episode 8 is a 2, I gotta give it like a 2.5. Yeah, they did enough good with the series that I will obviously keep watching because I'm just a sucker and a fanboy and I can't help it. Obviously, I'm still watching Marvel movies. So I guess it's really hard to truly disappoint me to the fact that I will burn a bridge, but I am disappointed. So then, as a Christian, I must say I watched this with forgiveness.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to, there's a hashtag that we should do, not my Sauron. Because of the finale, I am overall disappointed in the show. By the way, we have to talk about this. This is another thing. The 3 rings are forged in what? The last 15 minutes of the show? That's crazy.
The 3
And not only
crowns.
that, not only that, they set out to make a crown, or 3, or what? 2? And they go, we don't have enough metal. Let's make something smaller. Rings. I was like,
Yeah, just be smart and make rings to start out with.
what are crowns then? Isn't a crown like a...
It's just a head ring.
Yeah, what is it? You don't just make a crown. Crowns are for kings and
Yeah,
queens.
it's symbolic.
Ay.
Okay, you said that they made the rings in the last few minutes of the show. Me, non-Lord of the Rings lore professional, he is kind of involved in that, scurries off into the darkness. Something else happened in there that I didn't know.
That's the thing is that the Rings of Power, I think there are, 19 of them total? 9, 7, 3.
Yep.
So, 19 total. Well, Sauron, through deception, gets these rings made, and then later, in secret, forges the one ring to dominate all 19 rings. Okay. So, in this forging of these
Not
3...
by it just being really powerful, but by
actually tampering with it. He tampers with the rings.
with the other rings.
all of them.
So you're
including
saying
the 3 elven rings.
So you're saying when he was helping make them, he tampered with them.
He
and
has
they-
to have.
Canonically, but we don't see it happen.
We don't see it happen.
Show
Yeah, I didn't know
it.
that. I didn't know that he did that.
Right. So if you're not aware of the lore and that Sauron's power through the rings is that he tampers with their creation, then you literally watched Sauron Halbrand do all this stuff and hitch a ride over to Eregion for what reason? Just to meet some people and then go back to Mordor for no reason?
And if they show all of this in flashback scenes, so help me.
But really, they will. They have to. Because
Yeah.
what happens is that the 19 rings, 9 for men, 7 for dwarves, and 3 for elves, later, Sauron makes his one ring. When he puts it on, everyone wearing a ring comes under his power. That's the point. Except for the elves, at which point they realize what has happened, and Galadriel's wearing one of them. She and I think might be Celebrimbor and maybe Gil-galad, I can't remember, but they're wearing them and they go, what's happening? Sauron did this. He deceived us. And they take them off, right? They fight the darkness, the domination, and they fight it. And it's in that moment that they realize they've been deceived.
Whereas the men give in to the evil,
men-
and the darkness
Yeah,
consumes
give in.
them.
Yeah. And I don't know what happens to the dwarves, actually. Yeah.
Right. Well, we got a long time coming to see all that happen
Yeah,
or not
season
happen,
2
I guess.
just started production at the beginning of this month.
So we got what,
Yeah.
another 2 years before we see some screen time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, sit tight, friends.
So I'm I'm just living in a bit of disappointment, but I will watch it. And overall, life is better because of it, but not as good as it could have been. For that reason, it's disappointing.
You know, we should really just trill it up soon and talk about it.
What does he mean?
What did you just say?
Trill it up.
I think he means watch the trilogy.
It's true.
I think we should watch it. Maybe just people who didn't like the Rings of Power series. Season.
Yeah, start a little club.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
He's too easily deceived.
That'd be sweet.
This is fun.
This has been How to Watch Rings of Power Season 1 as a Christian. And we're Pacific Parable, and see you at church.